What happens to your sex life when you explore the 10 most popular sexual activities in America? Did you know that over 80% of Americans engage in sexual behaviors beyond just vaginal intercourse? Or that nearly half of adults have tried having sex in public at least once? Before we dive in, hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about which sexual activity you've tried or are curious about. This is going to be eye-opening. Introduction: How do Americans really experience sex? You like having sex, I like having sex. We all like sex, but do we really know what people are doing in bed? Are the fantasies we think are unusual actually part of mainstream sexual culture? Researchers recently conducted a nationwide survey of over 2,000 adults in the United States, including 975 men and just over 1,000 women. Participants came from every corner of the country and were selected to reflect the demographics of the U.S., including age, gender, and ethnicity. They were asked about everything from their sexual behaviors, fantasies, and preferences to relationship status and partner dynamics. The results give us a rare, scientifically backed snapshot of American sexuality. Keep in mind, though, that 91% of respondents identified as heterosexual, so some results may not generalize to everyone. So, what exactly are Americans into? Let's break down the top 10 sexual activities, explore the science behind them, provide real-life examples, and see what really happens when you try them. Top 10 sexual activities, from most common to surprisingly popular. 1. Vaginal sex, still the most common activity. Shock factor: 88.5% of men and 91% of women report regular vaginal intercourse if they have a partner. Vaginal sex remains the cornerstone of sexual activity for many couples, but let's unpack this a bit. Beyond pleasure, vaginal intercourse has physiological benefits. Oxytocin release promotes bonding and emotional connection. Cardiovascular health: sex increases heart rate similar to light exercise. Hormonal balance: regular sex can boost testosterone in men and estrogen in women. Real-life insight: couples I've spoken with often report that even brief sexual intimacy, like 10 minutes of passionate sex, improves mood and decreases stress levels dramatically. Science backs this. A 2016 study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology showed that sexual activity lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, in both men and women. 2. Masturbation: solo pleasure is everywhere. Eye-opening stat: over 80% of adults have masturbated in their lifetime. In the past month, 64% of men and 41% of women reported masturbating. Masturbation often carries social stigma, but it's biologically normal and psychologically beneficial. Stress relief: releases endorphins and dopamine. Prostate health: regular ejaculation may lower the risk of prostate cancer. Sexual self-awareness: helps understand what you enjoy and communicate that to your partner. Personal take: I've found that clients who incorporate healthy solo sex into their routine often have more satisfying partnered sex because they know what stimulates them. 3. Oral sex: giving and receiving pleasure. Surprising truth: over 80% of adults have engaged in oral sex. Oral sex is incredibly common and can be safer than vaginal or anal sex in terms of pregnancy risk, but STIs can still be transmitted. Using condoms or dental dams is strongly advised if you or your partner are unsure of your sexual health status. Fun fact: oral sex activates different neural pathways than vaginal intercourse. The sensory experience can enhance arousal by stimulating multiple areas of the brain associated with reward and pleasure, like the hypothalamus and nucleus accumbens. 4. Watching pornography: a national phenomenon. Stat to blow your mind: 82% of men and 60% of women admit to watching porn. Pornography remains controversial, but research shows mixed effects. Positive: can increase sexual knowledge, variety, and arousal. Negative: excessive consumption can lead to unrealistic expectations or erectile dysfunction in some men. Real-life example: one couple shared that watching erotic films together sparked conversation about fantasies they hadn't discussed before. Science agrees: shared erotic content can enhance intimacy when both partners are comfortable. 5. Wearing sexy lingerie or underwear. Surprise, 75% of women and 26% of men choose their underwear or lingerie to please a partner. This simple act stimulates desire through visual cues and erotic imagination. According to a 2017 study in Archives of Sexual Behavior, visual stimulation significantly increases physiological arousal in both men and women. Tip: even small changes like switching to silk fabrics or bright colors can add novelty and boost excitement in long-term relationships. 6. Sending or receiving nude or semi-nude photos. Staggering stat: 65% of men and 54% of women have exchanged nude or semi-nude images. With smartphones, this trend has skyrocketed, but it comes with risk. Digital privacy breaches and revenge porn are real threats. Always ensure consent and secure devices. From a psychological perspective, sending intimate photos can enhance intimacy and sexual confidence, as long as it's mutually desired and safe. 7. Reading erotic stories. Interesting insight: 57% of adults have read erotic literature. Women, in particular, report higher engagement in erotic reading compared to watching pornography. Erotic literature engages imagination and narrative processing, stimulating arousal differently than visual content. Couples can read erotica together, which can increase emotional connection while exploring fantasies safely. 8. Sex in public. Shocking stat: 43% of adults have had sex in a public space at least once. Why? Urban living often limits private spaces. From a psychological standpoint, the thrill of potential exposure activates the brain's reward circuitry, increasing excitement and arousal. Safety and consent remain critical. Unwanted exposure or breaking laws can lead to severe consequences, so this activity should always be carefully considered. 9. Anal sex. Surprise, 43% of men and 30% of women have tried anal intercourse. Anal sex is highly erogenous due to the density of nerve endings near the prostate in men and around the clitoris in women. Studies in Journal of Sexual Medicine show that many couples report high levels of satisfaction when exploring anal play safely. Safety tips: use plenty of lubrication. Start slow, communicate constantly. Use condoms to prevent STI transmission. 10. Spanking. Fact: about 30% of people have tried spanking as part of sexual activity. Pain and pleasure share similar neural pathways in the brain. Activities like spanking or light BDSM can enhance sexual arousal through controlled stimulation of these pathways. Consent is absolutely non-negotiable. Discuss boundaries clearly and start light, gradually adjusting intensity if both partners are comfortable. Bonus activities: role-playing and light kink, 22% role-play, 20% tied or being tied, 13% playful whipping. Threesomes, 18% of men, 10% of women. Group sex, sex parties, BDSM parties, less than 8% but still notable. Real-life note: exploring kink or fantasies safely can significantly improve sexual satisfaction and deepen trust between partners. The key word is consent. Without it, pleasure turns into harm. What the data really means. Beyond individual acts, the survey revealed patterns in desire. Men more likely to enjoy anal sex, group sex, and watching pornography. Women more likely to enjoy romantic movies, massages, and using vibrators. Both appreciate cuddling, kissing, and affectionate behaviors as foundational to sexual satisfaction. There's no normal way to be sexual. Preferences vary widely, and openness to communication is essential. Trying new activities can enhance intimacy, but only with mutual consent and trust. Timeline perspective: how people explore sex. Teenage years 15-19, most engage in masturbation and exploratory behaviors. Early adulthood 20-30, vaginal sex, oral sex, and pornography become common. 30s-40s, increased focus on novelty, erotic stories, lingerie, and light kink. 40+ years, many maintain sexual activity while emphasizing emotional intimacy and shared erotic content. Science supports that sexual desire remains dynamic throughout life, influenced by hormones, psychological state, and relational satisfaction. Conclusion: embrace curiosity, communication, and consent. Sexuality is broad, diverse, and deeply personal. Americans engage in a wide spectrum of activities, from the most common vaginal intercourse to adventurous public sex and kink. The key takeaway: communication and consent are essential. Explore safely, respect boundaries, and remember that there is no single normal. Before you go, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment on what surprised you most today or which activities you'd like to learn more about. Sharing experiences safely and respectfully can normalize discussions around sexual health and enhance intimacy in your own life.